Hello and welcome. It is Friday, May 6th, 2022, and my name is Jeff Bruner, and I am pleased to welcome you to another WiLS EBSCO Present session to discuss stacks. I'm joined today by EBSCO's Dan Herrick and Chris Lull. And I like to keep my intro short, so I am going to turn things over to Chris. Chris, I've stopped sharing my screen, so it's all yours.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. I will look to share my screen right here. And let's hope for the best. All right, please let me know if you can see a stacks wording at the top left.
Looks good. Looks good.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jeff. As Jeff mentioned, my name is Chris Lull. I'm a software as a service account executive at EBSCO. I am working with Dan Herrick to make sure that you are able to understand all the benefits of stacks. He is able to schedule demonstrations with me, and I will be able to jump on a call and show you the ins and outs of stacks, make sure that you see everything you need to see, understand everything, but really we're here just to support you throughout your evaluation of a new library web experience. So just right off the bat, thank you so much for joining. And what I will do is show you just 2 slides, I promise. I guess 3 slides, with the last slide being at the very end of the presentation. But I promise I will not keep you on a slideshow on a Friday. So here we go. Without further ado, I will just introduce the product, which is Stacks, a library web experience, a content management system designed to really empower librarians to be able to control their library web experience, build their library web experience, I should start with, but then be able to control it and make sure that it has all the tools that really will empower you to create that virtual front door for your library. So there is a few more points I just want to touch on, and that would be that it is fully responsive. So this will work on all the different devices that your students would be coming to the web experience on. It might be a cell phone or an iPad, or maybe it's a 50-inch screen TV, but rest assured it will be responsive and very intuitive for users to use, even from that small cell phone. All right, next up, we have a seamless integration. So really your different library resources, when they do need to be integrated into the library website, that is quite possible to integrate those different resources in. It might be an ILS you're looking to integrate in, that's no problem, or an authentication system. Really, all the different library integrations are built in as plug and play. But if there is some unique needs, we are happy to take a look at those for integrations with your unique needs also. We do have a number of tools built into Stacks. Just a few of them, just to kind of highlight, give you an idea of what we do have is a room bookings tool, an events management tool, a research guides tool, and many other, as you'll see throughout the presentation. And then the last piece I did like to add in here is that Stacks does have a mobile app also. I like to mention that just in case there's any confusion around responsive design or a mobile app. Responsive design will be your website and how it does respond to the screen size when your user comes to the website via a browser. Maybe it's Internet Explorer, Chrome, Safari. When they do come via the browser, it's going to respond to the screen size. But there is also the optimal mobile experience, a mobile app. It's an additional subscription. It does go above and beyond for the mobile user. But something else we can talk about at a different time if you are interested in. But I just wanted to make sure you understood that responsive design is built into the website, which we'll be taking a look at today. So now, great news. I promised only 2 slides or 3 slides with the last one. I will now stop sharing the presentation, and we're going to move over to some live sites. The first one up is Albion College. This is a beautiful library web experience that they built on their own using the Stacks platform. And one of the tools they used very well is the research guide tool. And you can find that, if you want to come back to it, by just going to find resources here. Now you move down the list and you'll see research guides. I'll click on research guides. Now it's going to give me a list of all of their guides here. Now, what you can do is you can leverage filters on the left-hand sides. So at that point, you can have a number of different use cases for guides. You'll see when I click on topic here, a number of different topics will appear in this dropdown. All right, and I will just click on one of these kind of at random. I'll do search strategies. That's very important to students. And when you come into this research guide on it, you're going to see a tab-based approach, which allows you to take a lot of content and make it easily digestible for your end users. So as I click through the tabs, what you're going to see is components of content do appear on the right-hand side. So you click on the tab, and then at that point, there's different pieces of content that do appear that you have created. So very easy to create these, very simple, but the big key component is that this is able to take a lot of content and make it easily digestible for your end users. And I had talked about responsive design earlier. I do want to just highlight that quickly, that all aspects of Stacks are responsive, but these great research guides are really just fabulous, even on a cell phone. All right, now I'll move on. I'm going to stay on Albion for now, but I do want to move on to the next tool, which would be our Easy Forms tool. Easy Forms tool is a way for you to collect some data from your end users. And one of the ways that they've used it is, I guess I'll just show it. It's under services here. And I will go to the library instructions. And they have created a form for library instruction here, where they ask you to put the instructor's name, email, department, course number. But really what you're doing is you're creating a form to collect data from your end users, whether it's the instructors at the library, instructors, maybe it's professors, or it could be that it's students. But if you're looking to collect data and then be able to analyze it, this is really the most simple way to do it. It will fit all of your needs. Potentially, you need notifications via email to go out to different librarians. If, for example, they select a certain button, if you click on it, maybe an email needs to be sent out to a specific librarian. It does really have all these different capabilities, and also the ability to analyze all this information on the back end. Now, something I find very important would be that you also can export all of that data. So maybe you want to make graphs inside of Excel with the data, you certainly can do that. All right, now I'm going to move past this. We're going to stay on Albion College. I do want to, while I'm here, just highlight some of the navigational guides that they've created. Now, navigational guides are ways to take and create navigation that's not just text heavy. You're not looking for a web experience that's just a list of links. You need to really create a web experience that has visuals for navigation, so your users can come here, find what they're looking for, but also browse and find things that they didn't know were available. So I will just scroll through this homepage and show you that we have some call outs here they've created. Some large sliders, which you can scroll through. They also have, a little further down, they have a resource flow. So if you're looking to highlight, maybe it's a collection of books, you're able to do that. And then a little further down, they have the mini slider, so an icon-based approach for navigation. So all these different forms of navigation are really designed so that you can create the navigation that's appropriate. For example, a large slider, that's great to captivate your audience. So a large slider would be great for an event that's happening in the library. Whereas, say, maybe a mini slider is it's the icon-based approach. So it could be a little bit better for something like policies and procedures that are happening in the library. All right, now, one part of this presentation that I just wanted to add in was kind of what I'm calling unconventional recommendations. It's really just something that I found on the website I found interesting. So kind of, I guess, to spice up the presentation a little bit, I just wanted to highlight a couple different things on some of these websites. And one of the things I noticed here was that they have something called the Library, where they do have a therapy dog in the library. And they are advertising it here, where they're letting the students know they can stop in and take and hang out with a dog named Kai. just click on that real quick just to show you that there's an additional page for this about that experience. All right, now we can move on from Albion for now. They do a wonderful job leveraging a lot of different tools, but I do want to show different web experiences. So I will stop from just showing you everything that they do well, and we're going to move over to Douglas College here. Now, Douglas College, one of the first things I want to show you here is the ability to embed widget code. Now, it's not just embedding widget code. You really can do a lot with what I'm going to show you here. We call it custom blocks, but they did embed widget code from Twitter, and they were able to advertise their Twitter account. And this is live. It's showing the latest Twitter interactions they've had, and that is on their homepage here. Now, I'm showing it for Twitter. This could be a YouTube video they wanted to embed on the web experience. They could have easily just copied it from, say, YouTube. You right click on a YouTube video and it will say copy embed code. Well, you copy the embed code, you paste it in the back end of Stacks, and then you decide where you want it to display, just like they did with their Twitter account. Could be an odd shaped image too, or maybe it's just a list of links that doesn't fit inside of, say, the navigational guides that we have. It really allows you to live outside of the box inside of Stacks. All right. You'll also notice on the left here, upcoming events. This is a teaser block of the events that they have going on in the library. And I had mentioned earlier that we do have an events management tool, and this is what's feeding this. The next events that are happening in the library are coming from our events management tool, which if you do want to come back and take a look at, you will find up at the top in their main menu. They do have news and events. And when you do click on events, you will come to the events management tool, where you will see a list of all the events that are happening in the library from the next ones that are going on. If your students wanted to filter down, leveraging the filters on this left-hand side, you create these filters so they work for your library and for your students. They could filter down to the different types of events that they're trying to find in the library. You also do have the calendar option instead if you would like. So when I click view calendar, this is going to give that monthly, or maybe it's week, day, or year view inside of the events management tool. All right. Now, while I'm here, I do want to just highlight that we do meet your accessibility standards. So kind of a hard transition here, sorry, but I will only talk about this briefly because it's something that might not be the most interesting, but it is very important. And it's the accessibility standards of your library and how we will meet them really. And you can find out more information. I'm not going to harp on this right now, but on our marketing website, which is stacksdiscovery.com, one of the first links in our bottom menu is accessibility statement. You'll see that we do meet your standards, and in some areas we exceed them where it makes sense. And I just kind of remind myself to talk about that by looking at this font resizer right here. We also will see language translation on the left, on the right-hand side here. Language translation service. This one is Google Translate, but we can really, any of the needs that you do have, if it's manual translation, different pages you need to create in different languages. We are an international company, and we do have a number of tools for you to be able to really accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with language translation services. All right. Well, we've taken a look at Douglas probably for long enough, and I want to make sure I get through all this so we can move on. And we'll get to Carolina University. And although they're doing a number of things here, I want to make sure that I really am able to keep going to the next libraries and make sure I can show you enough different sites. But this one does have something I really wanted to highlight, and that was room bookings. Stacks has a room bookings tool built into Stacks. That's part of your subscription, just like the events management tool. And they do have the navigation up here at the top represented by this icon. So that's how I'll navigate to it. Click on room bookings. And this kind of highlights that maybe it's just that you have 2 rooms in the library and you want them booked out and you want your students to be able to book them out. Well, here it is. You have the room bookings tool. You don't have to have registration for it. I will show you how they do have signups for the rooms, but this could be just to advertise that you have tables in the library that students could sit down, and then you want description text talking about the policies of those different tables. So use this as you see fit. They are using it for the purposes of signups, so I will quickly show you that if I wanted to, I could click book now. At this point, I would be booking the large study room, and I could find the appropriate time. I could click on it. At this point, I can fill out the form and I can actually book the room. Now, there is an approval process in the back end, so you can approve, decline. When you do approve or decline, it does send out automatic emails that you can create to let the users know that they've either been approved or declined. Also, reminders that they did sign up for the room too. All right, I'll go back. And now, although they have many other of our tools here, I do want to make sure that I do highlight some additional sites. So we are going to flip over, and we're going to flip over to Motlow. This is Motlow State Community College. And what she did here is she wanted to replace her LibGuide subscription, and she wanted to do that by leveraging. At first, she wanted to leverage our research guides. It really made sense for her to do the research guides, very similar to what we were seeing with Albion College. But she did find a different way to replace her LibGuide subscription and create research guides in Stacks. And that was leveraging our landing pages. So I'll have to explain that a little bit for you to understand it. But bear with me here. I'm going to click on Subject Guides. And when I click on Subject Guides, I'm coming to a page that's called an index page. And the index page, it's a way to create really to customize categories and entries. The entries can include text, links, or maybe it's file attachments. So nice way to organize those different formats. And what you'll see is she has what are subject guides and then two different categories. I'll click on the students category. And when I come in here, it's subject guides on all the different subjects that they do have that pertain to the students. I'll just click the first one, which she has for art. And when I do that, I'm coming to what I had mentioned earlier, another landing page. These landing pages are where you can really create the navigation and put content on these pages. And you'll see she was able to create a beautiful, what she calls a research guide for art. She has a large slider with a big image. She has resource flows, so different books that would pertain to someone coming to look for an art research guide. It's her art collection, and then another additional navigational guides to really highlight the different resources they do have for art. All right. Now, on top of this, what I did want to show too is just really kind of to really highlight these landing pages. I do have another guide that I wanted to show, and that was the Writing Center. Now, she's doing something very similar to that art landing page, that art guide, but it's for the Writing Center. And I just want kind of to really, I guess, inspire you in a way to show you what you could do with these landing pages. And it's not just the Writing Center. Maybe you have a different department page, but if you want to create additional pages, you want to create pages with beautiful images on them. It could be for, say, in this example, the Writing Center. It could be for a music library that you have that's at a different campus, but you're able to create these beautiful pages and create all the different navigation and then content behind it. All right, now I'm going to move past the landing pages and the research guides, and I will highlight one more tool that she does have on display here. And I'm going to click on this database icon. And when I do, I'm coming to the database page. This is where you can take and put all of your resources, and you can organize them in this fashion, in this filter. What you're seeing is her resources are organized in an A to Z fashion, still with a nice accordion view. That once again just looks really great on a cell phone. So I'll make that small again quickly. This is your typical A to Z list. Now, Also, she does have all these resources broken out by subject. So I can apply the filter right here, and you're going to see that she has a number of different categories with the resources being applied underneath those different categories. So you do have that really nice clean format to add all your different resources into the Stacks web experience. And this is very easy to operate. It truly is as easy as adding the name of the database, adding the link, maybe it's adding some description text. And what you're not seeing here is you can also add sublinks below the description text. All right. And I do have, going back to kind of the way that I'm trying to get the presentation a little bit more exciting, showing an unconventional recommendation is, once again, is what I'm calling it. And I will slide down. She has time to get your finals game face on. I think this is exciting. What she did here is really gave some different resources that would be helpful during call it finals week, including relax and VR. So I'll just click on this one right here. And you will see that we're coming to, what we're now, I've probably said over 10 times, landing pages. She's coming to we're coming to a landing page she created on finals game face. And it does show all the different resources that you do have during finals week. So just kind of an interesting idea, something I think that would be very helpful. We all deserve a break during finals week. I'm sure even the librarians do. But yeah, just something that I thought I found a little bit interesting here and wanted to highlight, including a snack bar. All right, now moving on. I will continue to talk about Motlow, but just very quickly, I wanted to highlight the librarian here, Sharon Edwards. She's actually the director of the library at Motlow. She did a presentation not too long ago, as you can see here, and on creating a user-friendly library habitat. She did a wonderful job. Definitely worth viewing this. She does go into her experience transitioning from LibGuides into Stacks, how she did it. She talks about why she went with the landing pages versus using our research guides, which she still does use, but she really does go into that great detail. It's a really wonderful presentation and worth the listen. We're happy to share this link with you. All right, now next up, I'm going to flip over, and I do have to make my screen smaller there quickly just because I do have that bar that drops down on Zoom. But coming over, I do have Roche University now pulled up. One of the reasons I wanted to come here is, once again, for my unconventional recommendations, and they do have one. They do have coffee, hot cocoa, tea, and snacks in the library. And the reason I really love this is I look at the price. I think 25 cents to 50 cents. I can get a cookie. I can get some coffee, or maybe it's some tea. So I did like this, and I wanted to kind of spice it up with the unconventional recommendation. And I think this is a wonderful idea. So I wanted to show you how they're leveraging what we call our large slider to create this advertisement for this particular school or library cafe they have in the library. You'll also notice that there is this library chat on the left-hand side. If you have a chat service, you want to integrate it into Stacks. It's very simple for us to do. So just really any of the integrations you need built into Stacks are just really just a few clicks away, and they are integrated in, just like this live chat that you do have, that you are seeing here. All right, now moving a little further down, or a little over, I guess, we're going to Augusta Technical College. Once again, you'll see a chat service integrated in. They do have research guides. I don't want to go into that any further, but I want to kind of highlight that unconventional recommendation. And I will find that inside of their research guide. So I like this because it really is just showing you multiple different look and feel options you have. But this one is really interesting. I think it kind of relates to that needing a break sometimes in the library. And it shows that they do have board games here. When you flip through, you'll see that as you go down, including throw burrito, very appropriate for Friday. They have the instructions on how to play the game, what you need to be able to play the game. And even this is a video that they've embedded into the research guide. So this is the research guide format. You can use it for a number of different options, just like the board games they have presented here with a tab-based approach. You click through and you will see the content that you've created on the right-hand side here. All right, now, not to stay there, I don't want to stay here too long. I will flip over to Allison Library. This is at Regent College. Very simple, but I did want to show you how you would be able to share or to really be able to list out the staff directory. And you will find that underneath About Us. And when I do click Staff here, I do have that directory listing. You have the ability to add filters onto this. So there's different types of librarians. You want to be represented inside of a filter for your students to come in and filter down. You do have that ability. They have it turned off here, but you can see it's great to have the image, the name, email, really add all the details that you want to add in here. They've kept it nice and simple, but you can add as many details as you really need for those different librarians. I'm coming back just to be able to scroll through for you. Did want to just highlight some of these navigational guides and really how you can leverage them. These navigational guides, they can click out to third-party resources. But with this one right here, the Use the Library, when they click on it, you are coming to that additional landing page where you can create the mini sliders. You could have large sliders on here if you wanted. They do have a row of callouts. The row of callouts, they have the image, they have title, they have sublinks in here. And I really like what they did with this call out here, where behind this call out is a research guide. I could click on loans and renewals. And when I do go into that particular tab inside of the research guide. Now, one more piece here is that we do have a news article tool. If you want to really have any of your news available, what's happening in the library, you'll see how Allison Library was able to accomplish this. And a lot of these tools are used throughout all these different sites that I've shown. So it's not just on here that you'll see news, but maybe you come back to the library at Albion College, you'll see that they also are leveraging library news, a very popular tool to make sure that the students know what is happening in the library. And you can add filters too, so you have different types of news articles, and your students will be able to filter through those. There is the ability to share to social media. So maybe you're sharing it to your Facebook page or Twitter page, or maybe you want your students or staff to be able to share it to their Facebook or different social media platforms. You can also add collaboration on this too. So if you want your users to be able to go in and make comments on these different news articles, you can turn that on. There is an approval process, so don't worry. You can approve the different comments that do get submitted for those different news articles. All right, now the last piece I do want to show here is I'm going to flip into my own demonstration account. Just want to scroll to the bottom, do want to log in. I want to show you how I log into Stacks. So I'm going to click on Administrator Login. I'm going to log in using my username and password. There is the ability to create username and passwords for any staff member that you want. Even if it's a volunteer, you can assign them appropriate user roles, so they won't have to have the ability to say change the theme, but they will be able to create content. Maybe it's that you want them to create content, but you don't want them to publish the content. Do have different user roles to restrict the level of access, but I logged in at the highest level. You're seeing a number of different tiles here. You can move these tiles around as you see fit. You can click and start operating on these different tiles, say the directory listing or callouts. You can flip the tile over if you'd rather, read a brief description about what that tile does. Potentially want to click the help button. At that point, you would come right into the help materials, and you can learn all about how to use these different tiles. They're very intuitive, so I'm sure anybody on this webinar could very easily figure out how to operate these tiles. But it is nice to have this nice guide on how to operate it. If you'd rather not flip through and look at a text and look at images, you could just watch a video instead if you'd like. And the last piece to this is Stacks is designed for you to be able to set this up yourself. It's really a simple process. You do have somebody here for you, an implementation product manager that will help you through the process of actually creating your library web experience. But if you don't want to create it yourself, you want us to create it for you, we do have professional services available for you, where we'd create it for you. But at this point, I am, looks like I'm over a minute past. I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. So I'm going to say thank you so much. And I will pass it over to Jeff. And if there's anybody that has questions, I'm sure you can ask. But Jeff, you still here?
I am.
Excellent.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Great demo. I mean, I still think it's an excellent resource, so I'm excited we're able to show it off a little bit more, some more of our members. Oh, I see. Well, I was going to say I see a question that came in, but actually it's a compliment. Jennifer says, thank you very much. Very interesting.
Thank you.
So for anyone else, if you do have questions, feel free to mention them now. Otherwise, as always, feel free to reach out to me, or you also know Dan from EBSCO, I'm sure, and maybe Chris too. But feel free to reach out to us with any questions, particularly if you'd like to learn a little bit more, look at pricing or anything else. We're always here to help. Thanks again to Chris for joining us today. And I think that's it. So I will say thank you to everybody who attended. I hope you have a great weekend. It's Friday. If you're watching the recording, it might not be Friday. And in that case, I'm sorry for you, but it's Friday for us here. And so we're going to go and enjoy that. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.